Hello, fellow wrestling crusaders, and welcome to our latest episode. My name is Sean Waskrug. With me, as always, is Jordan JPO Owens, and we are
That's
here.
me.
Yes, that's you. You always catch me with that. Just when I think you're not going to do it, I start to talk.
I do, yeah.
You always get me with it. But
and now I got it, which means I'm just going to do it even more.
You're gonna, I expect it every time now. We're still getting used to each other. I got 3+ years of getting used to Bryan.
It's a new relationship, yeah.
Exactly. Today we are talking about AEW Revolution. It happened a few days ago. We got to sit on it a couple days. Now we're going to talk about the matches, what we thought, what we liked, what we disliked. This is our first one doing it for AEW. Mainly because there hasn't been a pay-per-view this year yet. This is our first one. And you and I were right. They added a pay-per-view. It's going to be AEW Dynasty. It's going to be next month.
We now have a March one or an April one?
That one's going to be April 14th.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure isn't Double or Nothing in May?
Yeah.
And I think Forbidden Door is like June or July. So and then we're going right into All In and All Out. So yeah. We're starting to.
No, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're starting to get to almost every month now, pay-per-views for AEW. Now, I will say this.
Please go to a streamer because I can't do $50 every fucking month.
Yes, please get signed on by Max because and that's what I was leading into. I can't talk much about the two kickoff shows matches and the first two matches on the actual pay-per-view because Bleacher Report was being ridiculously stupid and I didn't get my feed to work until about 50 minutes into the pay-per-view. So I've got to catch maybe like the last 5 minutes of Kingston and Bryan. I missed all of Cage and Garcia, and Statlander, Nightingale, Julia Hart, Skye Blue I'd get 2 minutes, buffer. I get about 30 seconds, buffer. Then I get an error code, back in, back out. And the
semi-location thing, we were fine in Florida. That's what my friend did was Bleacher Report.
I mean,
we watched the pre-show on YouTube though.
Yeah, that's what I basically had to do. Is I had to switch it to YouTube because I watched the 12-man on YouTube, and I was like, why am I watching this on YouTube when I could just go and switch to the app on my Xbox? And then everything just went to shit on me. And but I got the pay-per-view knocked down 50%, so okay. But I missed two matches, but I can go back and watch the replay. I just haven't got to yet because I've been busy. So I really can't speak much for the first four, so I'm gonna have to rely on you for that. Now we had two pre-show matches, which for AEW is rather light.
Pretty light.
That's pretty light. Normally we have like 4 or 5.
Over the years, they have bounced all over the place. There was the occasional 1 or 2, but yeah, generally speaking, especially lately, it's been 3 to 4.
Yeah, and that's what I said. So for 2, I kept thinking, I was like, based off of what happened on Collision, Briscoe and Buddy are probably going to have a match. And like,
I thought maybe that.
I guess they're going to save that for maybe Dynamite or Collision next week. Who knows?
Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, Dynasty, who knows?
Yeah,
Battle of the Belts.
Exactly. But yes, so first kickoff show match, we had the 12-man tag, which I'm sorry, guys, that's just way too many damn people. We had We had the Bang Bang Scissor Gang against Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, Jay Lethal, Willie Mack, and Private Party, which those three just why? You just threw 3 randoms into it? Like I didn't.
I was well. I mean, you got to equal 12. I was thrown off by Willie Mack though. Willie Mack's the outlier.
I love Willie Mack.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I love Willie Mack. So I was happy to see him on the pay-per-view, but it just seemed like a weird.
It was just. Yeah, he's a face with these 5 other heels. So yeah, that's what I mean.
With Private Party, you can depends on who they're working.
It's at least gray enough to where I'm okay with it.
Well, it's like
Willie is ever shown any kind of like heel greatness.
Like Isaiah Cassidy is kind of a tweener because he's comedy, and then Mark, he's more the heel. But Isaiah, you had him with the Hardys, so it's like people are going to cheer him. Plus, he does the high pitched scream, so people like that. And no,
Mark, there's definitely a gray, but they're also kind of like, especially the last couple of weeks, they've been a little more cocky and like they've shown some tendencies where that didn't throw me off as much as like Willie, who's never shown any kind of hint to why he would fit.
Yeah, like I said, happy to see Willie, but even while watching that match, Willie just seemed like, why am I out here? like I'm gonna work, but why am I out here? Because like when you have Jarrett, Sanjay, seeing Lethal, and Karen out there, they just kind of fall into the background. Like they just don't get focused. Here's my thing. So Max Caster, he messed up the rap. I don't know if that was planned or not, because the way Jay acted, because apparently this is the second time he's messed up. I didn't catch it the first time he messed up. This is the second time he's messed up recently. And I part of me was like, I was watching it, and then I was kind of watching how everyone else's reactions were around it, and I was like, was this planned? Was this part of a story angle? Like, is this part of like, because like he immediately looked back at Jay, and Jay was like, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. And then he digs, and then Jay digs him at the end with the promo, and I'm just like, is this a story element?
I think it's quite possible, because I know the first time he screwed up, or not the first time, but afterwards, the first time they did play it up in a backstage interview. Like, what was with that rap? Like, so they've played with it before. So
I'm wondering.
I wouldn't be surprised if they played with it again.
Because when he messed up, I was like, you can keep going. You can fix it. It's not like you messed up that bad. Like, keep going. But then he just like stopped, and I was just watching everyone else. Was like, I don't know if this is planned or not. It feels staged.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that. That personally.
But I mean, the match itself, I mean, this is something you would have seen on a Rampage. It was just more or less to get everyone on the show. I mean,
that's a good way to put it.
I enjoy Bang Bang Scissor Gang for what they are, but I just, and like I said, I know very well and love Sanjay Dutt. I've wrestled him. I've worked with him many times. I wish I could just see him wrestle. And I think that's more his choice. I don't think he wants to, but I would have loved to rather have seen Sanjay in the match than
that must be his choice, because he's been kind of an agent everywhere for a little bit now. So
he
I think it's just,
he has.
I don't know if he's got enough injuries or whatnot, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he has his CZW days. I've seen his CZW stuff with Ruckus and stuff. So I mean, maybe. But yeah, I'm sorry. I like Jeff Jarrett. I like Jay Lethal. I like all them. I just don't. They have not gave a reason to give a shit about this group. Now I know they keep doing this stuff on Rampage where, they're having this little like backstage segments and stuff. I said, I don't care. I don't. I want to. I really do, but I don't. And with this match, it's like, I mean, Bang Bang Scissor Gang's not going to lose. So it's just like, all right, let them go out there, do their thing. It's a pre-show. Cool. Let's get out here and let's go. Was there anything you had to really add to the match? I really had nothing to add to this.
No, I mean, unfortunately, it is. You kind of said it. It's a quintessential. Let's get these people on the show. Focus is on Bang Bang Scissor Gang, because we've got to put them over to Super Group. Who do we got that's kind of around? Private Party
plenty
get
of
in here.
People around.
Jarrett's group get in here.
I mean, hell, Willie Mack Private Party. I mean, hell, you could have thrown in like the Butcher and the Blade or somebody like that. At least.
Why would that be any less random?
You could have thrown in Evil Uno and them. Like you.
No, they jobbed them. I feel they just got done jobbing them. I'm just saying, like, it's just random. It's you're just naming other random people to replace these random.
No,
people.
But at least that's a 3-way tag. Or that's at least a 6-man team. It's a trios tag match team. So I mean, you could have thrown them in a heel group.
Not Butcher and Blade.
Did they turn face? Well, no, Butcher. No,
you say trio.
No, I know. Well, I'm talking about Evil Uno.
Your math isn't mathing.
I'm talking about like Alex Reynolds, Silver, and
and then who else?
I'm talking about with Jarrett and them. Big Private Party and Willie Mack.
I don't see that. Now I think you're kind of nipping. I don't mind the fact that it wasn't just 2 trios facing them. It's a 12-man tag. It doesn't have to be.
I would have rather seen Private Party and. I know Dante Martin was in the Scramble, but what the hell is their team name? Top Flight?
It's a Top Flight, but
I would rather just watch those 2 teams just go out there and for 10, 12 minutes. And,
go watch Rampage. They've been doing
that. I know. I'm just saying, keep it up. Just keep letting them go out there and work. Just let them go out there and have fun.
I agree, but at the same time, like I get what they're doing. They're putting over Bang Bang Scissor Gang. It's the first time they've had a semi pay-per-view match. So
yeah, it's true. I still don't know where the hell they're going to go with this. Is this going to be like a MJF Adam Cole thing where it's going to go for months, or is it going to cut soon? Who knows? I don't even know how much longer Juice is out for, but I do miss Juice. I miss Juice a lot.
I miss Juice too. He was just starting to finally get like a bit of a push, and then that happened. No, I mean, my guess is just very much it's just going to end up being somebody's turning, and they're going to end up feuding. Maybe combine those titles, maybe kill off one of those titles. We don't need two trio titles anyway.
I feel like, well, at least with the Ring of Honor, I feel like they're still newish to completely just like move them on or combine them. But Ring of Honor and AEW are so intertwined now. You can have that be kind of like the women's tag titles in WWE. They can travel between companies and be fine. I don't think
there's just not always time on shows, and I guess maybe I should look up the Ring of Honor results, but I very much wonder if they're even defending them on Ring of Honor, or if JY too big of a name.
Probably on the pay-per-views they are, but I don't think that they're your
what pay-per-views. There's
I know
they haven't had a pay-per-view since they've had them. There is one coming up in April though.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever really seen them actually defend them on a taping or anything like that. But yeah, going to our next match, we got Statlander and Nightingale against Julia Hart and Skye Blue. Julia Hart's first match back since her injury. I still don't know what she did to get hurt.
Yeah, I'm surprised she was on this. I figured they weren't going to have her on this because there's no title defense.
Now this,
but I guess
this
it's a
match,
good way to wean her in.
Yeah, this match I did not get to watch because I was battling Bleacher Report. So what do you have to add for this match?
Well, I mean, if you want the truth, I have my own separate problems as to why I didn't see this match.
We like these people. Trust me.
Yes.
We like these people.
And
I love Julia Hart and Skye Blue. I really do.
This is a good example of what I think is a good pre-show match because there is a story building here, whatnot. But it's a tag; it's not for a title of any kind. So, you know what I mean. If there is a title match or like a no DQ match, that could be pay-per-view worthy. But this makes sense on a pay-per-view, on a pre-show rather. So as we said off air, I was actually working a show that day. I got no sleep the night before. Call time was 8 a.m. So there's a little bit of a nap going on here and there, including this match. You took
a 20-minute nap.
Not because of any reason as to who's in it. Just my body shut down. I remember seeing the 12-man going like, that was okay.
And then you woke up right in time for the pyro to wake up for the show.
We'll talk. There might not be the last time I say I took a nap. So
okay. Wow. Okay. Well, since we didn't really have much to say about that, we'll just move on. Like I said, opening match, I did not get to see a single second of Christian Cage versus Daniel Garcia. From what I've read, everything that we predicted did not happen. Copeland did not show up. Garcia did not get a win. It just seemed like I don't want to say typical because that sounds bad. It just seemed like a Christian Cage match. From what I read, like I said, I didn't get to watch any of it. Did you actually get to watch this? Did you wake up for this?
No. So much so, when I checked the results later on, I was like, when's that Christian match coming up? Oh, I remembered nothing of it. I don't remember an entrance or anything. I
was so mad that I missed this and the Kingston pretty much set.
Now that one,
Kingston Danielson.
That one go out of your way when you got time, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I got to watch pretty much the point where they were just slapping each other. That's pretty much when I got tuned in, is when like Eddie was like doing this with his hurt hand, he was just slapping him, like drunk slapping him. Like that's pretty much when I got into the match, which was like I said, was like less than 3 minutes left in the actual match itself.
By the way, not to backtrack, although I am. January 17th, Jay White and the Guns win the Ring of Honor Tag Team, the 6-man titles.
Yeah.
Not a single defense. That was January. We're in March.
So they have not defended it once yet.
Not once. Not on AEW. Not on Ring of Honor. No tapings have been reported, and that's cage match that they would at least show, even an upcoming taping or an upcoming airing. So yeah. So again, that's what I mean. That's why I'm kind of like again iffy with the whole group because I'm like these titles don't even really matter right now. That's why I was saying combine them because I feel like you don't even have time for them anyway. So.
I mean, the Ring of Honor tag division in general. I mean, granted, United Kingdom, or they have it now, but like when MJF and Adam Cole had them, I was like they didn't really. They defended him on the pay-per-views. But,
hold on. Isn't it Undisputed Kingdom, I think?
Undisputed Kingdom. I said United Kingdom, didn't I?
You said it last week, too, I think. And I remember not correcting it because I was like, that doesn't sound right, but I couldn't think of what it was.
I even as I said, I was like, I feel like I'm saying it wrong. And then I was like, yep, that's exactly what I said.
If you think about it, a group called the United Kingdom doesn't even make sense when they're all like Americans.
I mean, we have United Empire. Isn't that?
They're also foreign.
Yes, they are. They are. Yeah. But yeah, so Kingston, Danielson, like I said, I caught the last 3 minutes of this match. Did you actually get into this one before or did you actually wake up?
No, yeah. So Pizza's being delivered. I'm getting my second win. This is the match. This is the match you kind of want to see between these. This is the match you're going to expect to see here.
Yeah.
They beat the crap out of each other. There's even a good YouTube clip of like them backstage.
Yes, I caught that.
And like Eddie's about to like break down.
Genuine.
Like, it's cool knowing, the fans like me and like the reviewers. It's the boys that will care about your legacy. Like, it's a really good promo. And he literally even says, like, I'm going to walk away before I break down.
And then Bryan had a great promo after that.
Gives it right back. They respect right back. So I do wonder if, like, I always wonder, like, are we going to maybe feud with the Blackpool Combat Club? Because I've always thought, like, Danielson could be the kind of one that turns his face, and maybe Moxley doesn't like that, but I don't know.
They've always done that, too, where Danielson's always just kind of the outlier, and, like, Wheeler...
A little bit of the borderline.
Yeah, Yuta would always get pissed about it, and then everyone's just like, hey, Youngblood, shut the fuck up. Let Bryan
shut up. Yeah, I mean, it could be totally fine. I could be overthinking it, but like, I've always thought like that is a good easy feud right there if they wanted it.
Part of me feels because he's within the last few months of his career that I don't think that they would want to tarnish what they've had built with that. I think they're just going to keep letting Bryan do his dream list of who he wants to work and just kind of let him do his own thing. I would love for Bryan to have a belt at some point, but at this point it's like I don't want it to be like a Sting thing where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna give you the belt and then you're gonna retire, like Sting did. They had the belts for like 3 weeks, him and Darby kind of thing. But I don't want Bryan deserves better than that. I don't want Bryan to do that. But yeah, I also loved during that promo once Eddie left, Bryan's like, I fucked his wrist. I just started laughing because I was like,
it's an interesting promo. Yeah.
I love Bryan when Bryan's just like, I'm not gonna try to be like yes. I'm just like, I fucked him up. It's like that's peak Bryan that I love. I love when Bryan is just like that. But from what I got to watch, which like I said wasn't much. I mean, if you guys have watched Eddie Kingston and Bryan Danielson work, you knew it was gonna be good. You knew they were just going to beat the crap out of each other, and that's what it looked like they did do. And like I said, we got the handshake at the end. We got that act of respect. And like I said, if you guys have not seen the YouTube backstage thing, and you guys are fans of both these guys, which why wouldn't you be? Go out of your way to watch that. It is a genuine moment from Eddie, and it's another great promo from Bryan.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if this does anything with Claudio and Eddie, since Eddie dropped Claudio's name in that too. He's like, I just want the respect from Claudio, you, and everyone. But yeah, that was a great moment. I didn't get to watch that until after the pay-per-view, but that was a great moment. The next match. So they canceled the Meat Madness match because they said there was injuries. But I did find out what he meant by that. It wasn't the 3 people in the match that were injured. He wanted to add Miro and Keith Lee to it, and both of them were hurt. And he felt that he just wanted to bring everyone else into the show, so he changed it to a scramble. This is from Toni. This is what Toni said. He says he wants to make this Meat Madness thing a regular thing and like have it be like an annual thing or have it be more. But he wanted Miro and he wanted Keith Lee added to it. Neither one of them is clear to wrestle. And he was just like, instead of doing a 3-way, let's go ahead and just make it a scramble and get all these extra people to the show.
My only qualm to that is... okay, plan the fuck ahead a little bit though. You know what I mean? Why did you show the graphic? Like, and then they're all in it anyway. Don't show us the graphic, man. Like, make sure they're cleared. Like that just
like literally within like 3
or it sounds like he's bullshitting.
Literally within 3 days, they pulled it from us. And typical fashion, we shot the show talking about it. We end the show, and I'm editing it. And they announced that the Meat Madness match goes away. So if you guys are wondering, well, you guys talked about that. I was like, yeah, I get that.
Know what, I have another theory. I think Jericho complained that he wasn't on the card.
Could be.
Hey, Tony,
could be.
Where's my spot, buddy? Okay, I can add him. We can add to this Meat Madness thing. Sure.
Because I was so confused when they said All-Star Scramble, and here are the 3 guys. I'm like, wait, what? I thought they were hurt. I was like, oh, it's got to be Wardlow. Hurt. Like, Wardlow's knee's messed up. It's got to be Wardlow. And it's like, oh, no, everyone's in there.
Another qualm I'll make too about this match is kind of like what I've said before, where it's like, obviously Rhea Ripley's going to win the chamber because they've already had her and Nia Jax face off. I just like the fact that the night before, Wardlow got a standalone promo with a little bit of Jericho and Hobbs thrown in, but like just saying, very much showing like, hey, by the way, those 4 other people have no fucking chance, or 5 even. It's one of these 3. I hate when they do that. Like, just tell me that's one of these 3.
It's like, I get what you're doing. You're trying to sell the match because it was just scrambled together. Literally, it's a scramble match, and it got scrambled together.
Give everybody a promo. Give everybody 10
seconds. Here's a couple matches where people have to try to get into this match. Well, then why didn't Jericho, Hobbs, Archer, and Hook and Cage, why didn't they have to fight to get in this match? Why did Magnus and Dante Martin have to win their match to get into this? Like, either do it all or just throw them in it.
Yeah, and that's my problem with the promo. Like, I think they could have shot it to where, shoot it backstage. Hook, 10 seconds. Tell us why getting another title shot would mean the world to you. Jericho, this guy, instead we got, Wardlow and then a little bit of Jericho and Hobbs. And so it's like, so automatically, Hook's screwed. Martin's obviously just in there because he's a high flyer, yada, yada. The CML guy to put another high flyer in there, and that's it,
And it's, one of the things, too, is that this is a title shot match. And there's a lot of names that should be in the running for a title shot that are not in this match. So it's like, well, where's Copeland? Shouldn't Adam Copeland be in this? He's won a lot of matches. He should be up in this. And, there's names you can go through going, well, why weren't they in this? Why does Dante Martin deserve a title shot? Why does Magnus deserve a title? I get CMLL, but it's like there are people that aren't on this card that they could have thrown into this to make this a little more big star power. But, the match itself, we predicted it kind of like when we were doing with the Meat Madness, where it's like Wardlow's not losing. Like, they're pushing Wardlow to the max right now. The only person that probably would have beat Wardlow would have been Jericho, and even then, Jericho right now is in I don't want to call it jobber mode, because he's not, but he's in a state where a win right now would look more bad than good to Jericho. It would look more like an ego, Booker thing, him winning, because he has nothing going right now with Sam. So the only real story aspect you have going on right now is Wardlow. You got Hook and Brian Cage doing their thing, but they're not elevating to a title shot match. Wardlow's the only one that makes logical sense. So having anyone else win, you're doing it for an upset, which just logically, storyline wise, just doesn't work. The match itself, it didn't move the needle for me. I actually personally hated the spot where all the big men were in the ring and they're like, oh, let's all pose off. And it's like, why are we doing this? Like, I feel like all the little ones should have just got in and beat up all of them real quick. It was like a stop point. It completely stopped the match. The match wasn't even hot as it was to even constitute that stop. And I felt like the crowd just kind of was like, we going to do something? We're going to do something? This was the one match on the card that I think we were so happy for because it was Meat Madness. Like, this is going to be fun. And then this got thrown like
something different, and it became not different at all.
This is going to be the worst match on the card. And to me, not counting kickoff stuff, this was the worst match on the card. And it's not for lack of effort. It's just I didn't care about what we were getting out of it. Like, and that's coming from someone who did not get to see the first two matches. I know Garcia and Christian Cage and obviously Eddie and Bryan had way better match than this. But this was just a scramble thrown together. It just didn't work for me. I honestly can't even remember who took the fucking fall. Was it Dante or was it Magnus? Who took the fall?
No.
I'm
trying to think of who does he pin. Maybe I want to lean towards Dante, but God, dude, I'm not putting any money on it.
It was either him or Magnus because Cage, Hook, Archer, Hobbs, and Jericho did not take the fall. So they're literally thrown in there to be the pin. Now, I will say at this point, because I remember I got to this point, I was like, I can't tell if it's because I just had a rough night, but I am not really enjoying this pay-per-view right now. Granted, I missed the first two matches that I probably would have enjoyed. So, basically seeing Bang Bang Sister Gang's 12-man, missing the three matches in between, and then seeing this, I'm going, it just almost, that was the thing too. Luckily it changed into the next match. Everyone felt off that night. Like Bang Bang Sister Gang, there was mess ups in the match there. From what I was seeing from Skye Blue Willow, there was little mess ups there. Dante Martin, dude, almost died diving out of the ring. And then he hopped back in the ring. He hopped back in the ring and continued to mess up. And I was like, I feel like everyone was just kind of out of sync until the next match, which we got Roderick Strong, Orange Cassidy, AEW International Championship match. We knew this match was going to be great. And
Dante did take the pin, by the way. It was Dante.
He did. It was Dante. Okay. But yeah, Roddy and Cassidy, we knew this match was going to deliver. It did. I enjoyed the hell out of this. And when you saw that Cassidy was like, hey, you guys stay in the back, you knew he wasn't winning that night. Granted, I don't recall. I think Roddy won it clean, right? Didn't he win it clean? I don't think anyone from Undisputed.
I don't recall much bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone came out because they were all out there for Wardlow, but they did not come out with Roddy. I think Roddy won it straight up. I don't think there was any shenanigans from them because they all ran out after he won. But I don't think they messed at all during the match. Not that I can recall. But yeah, no, Roderick and Cassidy had a great match. I was a little scared when Roddy dropped Cassidy on the buckle because that looked rough. Not necessarily that he took the hip on the rope. It was more the ricochet off the rope and landing high up on the next shoulder that I was a little worried about. But I think Roderick did a good job working the ribs in the match. I love watching Roddy work, and Orange Cassidy is someone that I had to grow to love, but I enjoy watching him work now, and it's a great match. I had fun. It changed my mindset going into the pay-per-view, and then the rest of the pay-per-view, I was golden. But what were your thoughts on Roddy and Cassidy?
Yeah, I mean, just to go back real quick too. Yeah, I think if you had seen Kingston versus Danielson, I think you would have already had hope because it's a pretty good match.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like you said, a little bit of a messed up with the scramble here because yeah, like you said, not too much going into it. Probably as I agree, my least favorite match of the night. But that is saying something because I don't hate it. I don't think it's the worst. There's still some couple cool moments in it.
There are way worse matches that we've seen from AEW.
Yeah. So and a bit of a backhanded compliment there, actually saying it's the worst match of the night because yeah, it continues on to have some pretty good stuff here, including this here. Yeah, no, this is just a really good another notch on Orange Cassidy having a really great title run here, going to I think the right guy in Roddy. I think I've said before that this is my favorite Roddy ever. The skills have always been there. But, if you look at like a 2000s Roderick, he's not a talker, but he's found a character that's fun, interesting, and it makes the group look good too. Another post-match promo was the whole group, Adam Cole's group talking. So now Roddy has a belt. Taven and Bennett have a belt. Who also, by the way, Taven and Bennett, one defense since January. What the fuck is going on, Your Honor?
Yeah.
I was just looking at the results. They're focusing on the women's title and the women's CV title. Like there's like no signs of Eddie, of the tags, of the trio. So I don't know what's going on with Ring of Honor. They have champions that don't defend ever, unless they're in AEW. But no, this is a really good match here. It added to, I think, I'll get to it later, but I think a really good pay-per-view, and this as another sign of it. Yeah, I love this match a lot.
And of course, right at the end of the match, we got
Kyle O'Reilly.
We got the return of Kyle O'Reilly, which I was happy to see. Glad to see he's back and working. Not sure what we're going with. Yeah, it has because I was one of the people that I was like Kyle's one of the devil people because there was one guy who moved around like him, and I was like that one of those.
I remember you saying that. Yeah,
I was like one of those is clearly Kyle, and it wasn't. I was like, well, shit, is Kyle still hurt? So when he showed up, I was like, yay, Kyle! And now we don't know what's going on. I'm sure Dynamite will probably get some storylines starting up, or maybe it might be
another YouTube clip is them trying, and again he just says like, and then walks away.
Yeah. So we, because I was watching, I was like, oh, he's playing it. He's like, no, yeah, no, and he's like whispers something in Roddy's ear and puts a shirt back on and just walks away. And then, I mean, he at that point like he just looks lost, but he's not. He's just in the emotion of it all. Let me ask you this, because has he always had the diabetes thing on his shoulder? Because he had that.
I feel like I have actually, yeah.
Does he
maybe I'm thinking of like backstage stuff, but like I feel like I've
never seen him wrestle with it. I don't know. It's something for me to pay attention to from now because he walked out with that, and my girlfriend was watching me. She goes, "Oh, he's got diabetes." I was like, don't remember.
I mean, it does make sense. I mean, it does make sense that he wouldn't necessarily rip it off for this. He's not wrestling a full match, but yeah, it'd be interesting. Like you said, pay attention next time he does wrestle.
Like I said, I've been in the locker room with him and stuff. I never knew Kyle had diabetes. And so I was like, is this something that brand new? This is something that just happened while he was hurt? Did he get it when he was injured?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know the timeline for exactly, but it's not like an all time thing, or like
can
it's
he
not like
wrestle?
Forever.
Can he wrestle with that on, or does he have to take that off?
That is a question I got no idea about.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out when he starts to wrestle again. I didn't know. I was like, I don't know if that thing can take hits.
Which I'm looking forward to. he was one of the reasons I was really loving NXT for a minute. Like, him and Finn Balor having some top-notch matches. Like, there was during the NXT AEW war, like there was weeks where I gave it to NXT because of matches like his.
I mean, at all costs, you just have to give Kyle a belt so he can, strum it as he's going down. Like, that's almost a requirement. Is if Kyle's going to be wrestling, you got to give him a title to play with.
I mean, and who knows this? Maybe this is Roderick's first feud. Maybe this is him like, hey, I love you, Roddy, but I don't like what you and Cole have done. And they keep him face for the time being. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I'm intrigued to see where this is going. Don't know what they're going to do with Orange after this. Is he going to like kind of fall into the background, or is he going to where is his next feud going to go? It'll be interesting to see what they do with Orange. But I am excited to see where this goes with Roddy and Kyle potentially.
Him and Trent in the tag tournament, which we'll talk about later.
Did they announce people for that?
No.
Have they announced?
I'm saying maybe.
Okay.
No. I'm saying maybe.
I was like, I haven't heard any announcement of people.
No.
So,
I've been working all day. More on Wednesday, but no, during the scrum when we're jumping ahead, he did mention it will indeed be a tournament.
Yeah. Next tag team, we got Blackpool Combat Club, Moxley and Claudio against FTR. Loved that Claudio and Mox came out in the Road Warriors gear. I was like, hell yes, I am all for it. Yeah, what's there to say about these four that we haven't already said before? I mean, come on, these guys are great. I could watch these guys beat the living crap out of each other every day. I don't recall seeing Dax get hit, busted open. I don't know if it was a gig or not, but he was dripping.
Yeah, he was dripping bloody. Yeah,
because I was like, one point I was like, okay, I was like, oh, he's bleeding. And I was like, okay. And then next time I'm like, oh no, that's bad. That's a bad one. I was like, it's rough. Because at first I was like, oh, he gigged, and then afterwards I'm like, did he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If he gigged, it got made worse. But no, something happened there.
And I mean, in pure Mox fashion, bites the wound and spits blood. Mox is just gonna be Mox. But I love watching these guys wrestle. It's just fun. I hope at some point before Claudio eventually either leaves or retires or what have you, that he at least, whether it's AEW or WWE, it's probably gonna have to be AEW. Get this man a fucking singles title, please. Get him something. The guy is fucking stellar. Claudio's amazing.
And again, I'm jumping ahead to that tag tournament. I think they're about to go far in that tag tournament.
I get that, but I don't. Tag titles is one thing. I want AEW.
Oh no, I agree. I'm just saying for now. I think that's kind of the hint I'm getting at. The fact that they got this huge win over FTR of all people.
Yeah.
Like I think they're about to go to like the semis, not the finals of this tournament. Like I'm not winning it.
I don't want to say that. I'm going to say it, but I don't want to make it sound the way I want to say it. We're going to have a tournament. Which a lot of people are like, oh, too many tournaments, dude. I'll take tournaments night and day as long as they are good. I'm all for tournaments. Hell, the Continental Classic was great. I wouldn't mind a tag team. One. I mean, great. Do it like New Japan. Do a tag team, Continental Classic basically for the titles. What I don't want, and if we get it, I'm not going to be mad. But I don't want these guys to be in the finals against each other because it's like, well, we just had this,
Oh yeah, this again. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I love watching them wrestle, but if you have these two then just plow through the tournament and meet each other in the finals, it will kind of make the tournament kind of feel pointless. As much as I love both teams, I feel like we need some. I'm assuming one of them will be in the finals, guaranteed. One of them will be in the finals. I just feel like it can't be the other one against them, or what was the point of the tournament in the first place? Whether it's the Young Bucks or someone else, it just can't be both of them in the finals. You have to have an upset somewhere. Anything else you'd like to add for this match?
This was hard hitting. This was great. It lived up to the expectations. You know what I mean? I knew it would be a good one, but like it was like, oh well, we just saw it, but I'm happy to see it again. This was another really great match.
Would you be open to Mox and Claudio now using the Doomsday Device European Uppercut as their tag team finisher?
Yeah.
Because when they hit that, I was like, you know what? I didn't think I knew it, but I like it.
It's good stuff, man. Claudio, like you said, I'm a huge Claudio guy too. So like, yeah, I still hope that there's like big things in his future here. Then hopefully sooner than later.
Now, our next match, we got the women's championship match, Timeless Toni Storm against Deonna Purrazzo. I'm gonna be legit on this match. This was when I literally had to go pick up pizza for everybody. So I was driving.
What a common thing, pizza for everyone. Where'd you go? What pizza did you get that night? I want to know what pizza you got.
Little Caesars.
We did Domino's.
Yeah, we get Little Caesars because we really love the Italian cheese bread. So we were like, what do you want? She's like, Little Caesars. I was like, that's fine. It's quick. Let's go. And so I was basically watching it on my cell phone while we were driving to pick up pizza. So I was watching it, but obviously was distracted while watching. So I can't give the best, reaction to this. I did love Mariah May coming out as old Toni. She looked good.
Yeah, first out.
She looked good.
Same thing with Strickland on. I was like, oh, that's an interesting choice. Oh, it's not actually her.
Yeah, no. Like, okay, so I was on my cell phone. I was like, oh my god, Toni's coming out. Like, wait.
Well, it's hard to tell on a huge TV, bro. Like with the glasses and the hair. Like, no, dude, on a big TV, you were still like, is that her?
No. It had me for a second, and then when the camera went, I'm like, oh, it's Mariah. I was like, well, she's wearing extensions. There's no way her hair grew that fast. It's like, oh wait, it's Mariah May. It's fine. But I liked that. I thought that was great.
I hope they continue that. I hope that actually continues to be a thing where like Toni's trying to make her kind of thing. Like I hope they continue that. I want to see her wrestle as that actually.
I would be okay with that, but I also don't want it to kind of fall into the Mickie James, Trish Stratus, and then isn't Lara Valkyrie and oh god, who's doing it? Well, she's doing kind of almost like a in NXT right now.
Yeah,
because I feel like. But Mariah, it's not a stalker thing. It's like a mentor, mentee kind of thing. So I mean, it's not the same thing. I just think if she's constantly keeps dressing up as Toni, it could come off looking that way. But I liked it. I liked what I saw of it. The match.
Well, I like the idea of Toni making her more than her wanting to do it. It's Toni making her. I like that idea.
Okay, I'd be more on board with that then. And I like even at the press conference thing afterwards, she was still dressed as Toni. And I like that whole honestly some of the best. I normally don't watch press conferences. I now watch AEW's press conferences because they're hilarious.
I don't think I've missed any. Like I've seen the majority. Yeah, I like them to a degree. Tony's great on them.
Ospreay was hilarious that night, which we'll eventually talk about Ospreay here very shortly.
What's Toni's final line at the conference? Like now there's a ranking system, so fuck off. Like just walk
well, then it was like let's get fucked up or something like that. It was like okay, let's get fucked up. And I always love that Toni never knows what's going on because Toni's just like, like okay, but yeah, with this match here, I mean, like I said, just like with Blackpool Comic Club and FTR, you got Toni, you got Deonna. The match is gonna be great. I think. And from what I've read from people, you think it's like Deonna's still too new for anyone to really buy into her. And I was like, well, that's not necessarily true. Deonna, if you watch TNA or if you know of Deonna, you know what she's capable of. She's had some quality wins on AEW already, and they've already built the storyline. Now
the story was well built.
Yeah, they can continue with this to Dynasty and keep it going. I'm not against seeing Deonna and Toni keep going till Dynasty. It's only about a month and 10 days away.
I'm kind of they do because I like the match. I do feel like it never kind of got to like
it never shifted into the next gear.
Second gear. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I felt like this was we're going to give you this.
Almost saving it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. We're going to give you this, but we're going to be going bigger. But once again,
that's how I felt.
We're a week out from potentially Mercedes being back.
Yeah.
So where are we going with that? We don't know.
Well, I hope they don't jumpstart her. Like I think it makes sense to have her.
Yeah, let her get her in on that. Maybe double or nothing. We get Mercedes in there for something. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'm totally cool with them kind of just having this be as like this is us going out there, giving you guys a little taste, and then we're gonna go out there and fucking tear the roof off. But yeah, I thought the match was solid. Obviously, they can do better. We know they can do better. But like I said, you and I are both in agreement. We think they're just giving us a little, and then they're going to eventually do great. Now, speaking of blowing the roof off places, Will Ospreay Takeshita. I posted it after the match. This is my match of the year in the U.S.
Sean Meltzer over here.
I didn't give it a star rating. I didn't give it a star rating.
So if it was the Tokyo Dome, you would have said 6 stars, huh?
No, it would have been 10 stars. But we were already saying that this was going to have match of night potential, like most of the matches. But this was the one that you and I were like, this is going to be good. This is going to be really, really good. The crowd here with Ospreay was fantastic. I loved how they sang Ospreay during the music. It's hard to watch that and not just be fucking jazzed up for this. Takeshita looked like a star in this. Ospreay's already a star. Ospreay came in. For anyone who didn't know Ospreay or hasn't watched Ospreay yet, this was his, hey, fucking lay myself out. This is who the fuck I am. Get
dick on the table.
Dick on the table. And Takeshita, I felt like since he's joined Callis, he's kind of been not hindered, but like we had Takeshita before he was with Callis, and he's going out there and he's just putting on matches. And it's like, damn, this guy's good. Like he's got potential.
Yeah, won the breakouts of the 2023, yeah.
Yeah, and then he joined Callis, and it was just like, okay, because like him and Kenny, I don't feel like they gelled well. Like it was a good match, but it could have been better. And he's just kind of been just there, and that's why I got excited when we got Ospreay, because I'm like, okay, I was like, Ospreay's gonna bring it out of him. If Takeshita is not gonna bring it, Ospreay's gonna grab him and go, no, we're doing this. You are going to get on my level, and by God, they did. I love that Callis played it straight the whole way through. I'm glad you didn't really see him side one way or another. He was just like, this is a great match. You're watching Pippen and Jordan. Which one's Pippen and Jordan? Well, whoever wins. I was like, so are you saying that Scottie Pippen would always lose in a match against Jordan? Is that what you're saying? Because Scottie Pippen could probably beat Jordan a couple times, depending on what they're playing. But Ospreay and Takeshita, this match is a must watch. It is fantastic, and this is coming from someone who was a former wrestler and someone who actually, works shows and stuff still. I hate when wrestlers go, oh, they do this no sell. There's just no selling. It's just blah, blah, blah. I was like, shut the fuck up. Is it entertaining? Yes. Stop talking like you're a wrestling purist. Like you weren't watching 1970s wrestling. If you tried to watch 1970s wrestling now, you'd probably fall asleep.
You'd be bored.
You'd be bored in your mind. I have a hard time going back and watching the stuff in the 80s. Because the main move they did in the whole match was a body slam. These guys are out there, and
I've said before, no offense, but wrestling has gotten better. It has.
Yes.
It's hard to compare an 80s, like you said, an 80s, even early 90s to like a 2010s match, and above.
You can go back and you can respect the matches that you see of Flair,
it's like the heritage. Yeah.
Because they are fantastic. I would love to see what they would be like in today's world. I would love to see a 1980s, 90s Macho Man in this world. Hell, give me a dream match of Macho Man from late 80s, early 90s against Seth Rollins. Holy shit, that would be amazing. But because they would match this. They wouldn't be doing like all the kind of crazy flips and spins, because Macho probably just needed someone to goad him into doing it. And Macho probably would have pulled that shit off. Because Macho. You watch Macho back in the 80s and 90s, and it's like he's having to slow down for everybody else.
Macho, if Macho was a little bit younger, he totally could have had like a Sting run. What I mean?
Absolutely. Like Macho had to slow himself down for everybody else. He could have done so much more. Same thing with Perfect. Everyone. So there's so many guys back there. They're like, oh, if they were here today, that would have. The magic that these matches could have had. But Ospreay and Takeshita, they beat the ever living shit out of shit. That brain buster, that scared the crap out of me. Because Ospreay that rough, and you saw that with his back. I'm watching him like he might have broke a rib, he might have bruised something. I was like, that is bad. I was like, clearly his head, because Ospreay has a rubber neck. I mean, he's just incapable of doing any injury to his neck for now. But they were. Like the elbows they were hitting and the way they were making it look and the kicks. I mean, fucking Ospreay's backhand like thrust kick. That is the sickest kick. I don't know how he hits it pinpoint every time. It doesn't matter if you're a tall guy or a small guy. He hits that pure every time. I don't know how Ospreay does it. But I loved this match. This match literally had me going, oh shit, the whole time. I was. It's very hard for me to get out of the wrestling brain of being a former worker and watching it going, they could have hit that cleaner. Come on, you gotta work it. You gotta do something. And to maybe just go, oh, like it's hard to get me there. And this match got me there. I was just in it like a fan. I was in it the whole fucking way. I love this match. Also, this and the next match. Was there a special thing on the agenda of hey, let's do AJ Styles shit? We got the Styles Clash in this. We got the fucking Spinal Tap in the next match.
Yeah, that was Styles' thing. Yeah.
Yes, that was Styles' thing. So I was like, what's with all the AJ? Like, I'm not against it.
Well, I know Ospreay's always said AJ was a big influence, so that makes sense for him. Yeah.
But yeah, like Swerve hitting the Spinal Tap. I was like, that's a Spinal Tap. Like, I know the Spinal Tap. That's a Spinal Tap. But yeah, this match was great. I know I talked a bunch. Ospreay, Takeshita.
This is another match that on paper I think we put a lot of expectations on. But boy, did it meet and then surpass expectations. You know, kind of like you said before with Takeshita and Omega. I remember like that didn't quite meet expectations. Good as you said, but not like next level. So I remember kind of thinking like, oh, maybe I shouldn't like give too high of hopes to like. But I think they met it, man. I think this absolutely helped kind of reestablish Takeshita. As you said, I feel like when he turned heel, that kind of workhorse took a back seat, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So this helped reestablish Takeshita because again, this is one of those like he lost, but he really didn't lose. Like he also won just being in this match with this kind of caliber performance. Yeah,
and I love,
and it's, like you said, it helped really establish.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it helped, and then finally it helped establish like fucking Ospreay's here, and like yeah, if you're unsure because you don't watch Japan, now you know.
Welcome Will Ospreay to All Elite Wrestling. And I love at the very end too. They bowed to each other, they shook hands. There wasn't no like animosity, like like they're if they are gonna eventually branch Will off from Don Callis, you did not see that in this match. There was never a moment in the match that made you feel, oh, they're about ready to turn on him or he's about ready to leave. Yeah. Now, granted, you had the moment with him and Fletcher at the end where they were doing the United Empire. And they're going to wrestle on Wednesday, and I'm excited to see those two. Maybe we could start seeing it after that. But at the pay-per-view, everything was straight up on board. And I liked where it went. I'm excited to see where they go from here. And Ospreay was amazing in the press conference. He was giddy like a kid. He was so happy and excited.
You see that from his last couple interviews. Yeah, it seems like he's excited about the prospects.
And it's not like he's ever lost the love for wrestling, because how sometimes you just get in a riff where it just feels like I'm just going through the motions, especially in 2024. Like, granted, ending himself in New Japan and his ending the trilogy with not Okada. No, Michael from Red Pearl.
Michael Oku. Yeah.
Oku. He seems like he's just not saying a new Ospreay, but he's just, and it could be like I said, he spoke at the press conference. His lady and now he's like basically a dad. He seems like a livelier, like just Ospreay. And also, what I want to know more about what he said at the end. He's like, there's 3 things I want: singles titles, sponsorship from I don't know where it was, Nada or something, and then he wants to retire Billy Gunn.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah.
I need more from that. I would have followed that up. Follow up. What? Why? Is there a reason why you want to end Billy Gunn?
I don't think there's a reason other than he loves Billy Gunn and he wants to be the last person that wrestles him. That's what I took from it. It didn't seem like a mean, like I want to retire him. It felt like I want to.
No. It's just I want to be his last. Sure, he's on his way. I want more from that, please. Hopefully, Dynamite. They can go. What was that? I want more. And I also love that he's like, yeah, that fucking hurt, man. You want to see my ass? Can I show him my ass? And then just like I say, I had a blast watching Ospreay. The match was great. The press conference was great. Ospreay.
I'm with you, bruv.
Yeah, bruv. Man, it hurt.
That's one of his t-shirts. Is a giant ass bruv. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone's going, I wish you would have said All Elite, bruv. I'm like, that's true. I wish you would have said All Elite, bruv, too. But yes, going to our championship match, Sting did main event, and you and I were both right in what we said. If Sting's main eventing, Swerve's not winning that belt. And we were right. Swerve did not win. We had Samoa Joe against Hangman and Swerve in a triple threat. I felt like this match, there's a lot that I liked, but I also felt almost like with Toni and Deonna, I felt like they could have gone more, but I felt like they were still kind of holding back. What I loved about the story of this was that it almost tried to make, this is why I love and hate this aspect. Samoa felt like an afterthought in this match. It felt like Hangman and Swerve were just going after each other, and Samoa was just there. And they kept knocking Samoa down and throwing him off to the side, and they just kept working, and Samoa would come back in, and they'd throw his ass back out again, which to me felt a little disrespectful to Samoa Joe, because it's Samoa fucking Joe.
He's the champ. Well, he's the champ, yeah.
And it's fucking Samoa Joe. You don't just throw his ass out to the ring. You need to give him his fucking due. And he would go out there and he would get it, but I liked the aspect that those two hate each other so fucking much that they would do everything they can to make sure that other one didn't win. If Joe wins, that sucks. But as long as that other one doesn't win, I'm okay with it. Now, and I like we saw the beginning of Swerve going full babyface. He had the chance to cheat, and he's like, "No, I'm not doing it."
Nope.
And it ended up costing him. And like that was I even love that one. I don't know if you got to catch it, but it was he did the stomp on Joe, and then instead of pinning Joe, he went over and pinned Hangman, and he kicked out. And everyone's like, and you can hear Nana going, "Why didn't you go after Joe? Why didn't you go after Joe? I know why you did it. I get it. It makes sense." But it's like even Nana's going, "Dude, it's a title match. What are you doing? Pin the guy you just did your finisher on." But so I loved Swerve's story. I loved Hangman's story. I just didn't like how Joe was handled in the match. I almost kind of wish that the way it ended, I kind of wish it would have ended it a little bit differently. To the point where like maybe Swerve was about to end Joe, like maybe he had the Takeshita clutch and he was sitting up, and Swerve was and Swerve hits his stomp on Joe, and he's about to cover Joe, and he's still got the Takeshita clutch, and Hangman sees Joe's gonna lose, and so he taps out because fuck you, Swerve, you're not winning the belt over me. I will rather lose than you beat me or beat Joe, kind of thing. But Joe still got the Tita. He wasn't.
You lost me on that. No,
man. That's because that is literally the story that they are telling between Swerve and Hangman. That I will do anything I can to make sure you don't win, and he's being choked out anyway. And so instead of him hanging on for a little bit, he sees that Swerve might actually pin Joe. I will tap out so Swerve does not win this belt. Joe still wins. Joe doesn't look bad in that defeat. I mean, the way they've been treating Joe in the match, it lined up perfectly what they were doing the whole way through.
Well, yeah, he didn't like how they treated him.
I didn't like it, but if they would have done that, I would have been like, you know what? That worked with Hangman's character so far. I would have been okay with that. But no, I wish Joe would have. Joe still had his moments. I just didn't like how they just kept throwing Joe away like he was like. It's like it. No offense, but it's like if you had Gunther and Drew, and then Miz. And Miz was the champ, and they just kept throwing Miz out of the ring. It's like, fucking Miz. Like, let Drew and Gunther go, and then Miz, every time he comes in, just throw his ass out. Like, that's what it felt like. It's like, no, that's fucking Samoa Joe. You just don't do that. But what were your thoughts on the three-way?
Yeah, no, I really liked it. I understand what you mean about Joe. He might kind of was story B here to a degree, but no, they had a pretty tight match here. I like that everyone kind of got their moments in. There was definitely a little bit of like, maybe that, you know. In the end, Joe kind of ekes it out here. The next event is called Dynasty. Will Swerve begin his dynasty then? Wink, wink. But we'll see.
Because in terms of the storyline, Hangman took the loss. So if we're going, Swerve should still be number one contender, and Hangman has dropped. And I will
be in it.
I will say this: my lovely girlfriend who's listening to us talk right now, she sent me a message. Hi. Kyle has type 1 diabetes. So yeah, I don't know how long he's had it. She didn't send that to me, but she did send me the Kyle has type 1 So thank you, babe.
Also, real quick, we got to shout out Prince Nana dancing with the dancers. Come
on. It could have been really, really bad because the camera, you know how the camera started all the way out there. I was like, oh, they got kids to do the dance, and then it's like, I'm like, oh, those aren't kids, those are ladies. I was like, because they looked really small.
I will say, I was annoyed that like halfway through the dance, they did like do a random fan cut, and I was like, fucking go back, let me see him dance. Like, I don't give a shit about a wide shot of a chunk of the crowd. What the fuck?
AEW is starting to do some WWE things where they're cutting at the wrong moment. It's like, stop it.
Show me the interesting thing. I don't need to see someone enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, and now I'm enjoying it less because you're focusing on a fan randomly.
Because it took me out of the moment.
No, he's in the middle of doing it, and then they cut. What?
Yeah, and I also love that, like, during the main event, when they got into the crowd, you still saw two of the girls in the crowd, and one of them was wearing Swerve's jacket. They were just running away.
I was confused because I remember thinking, like, who's in a thong in the crowd? And I was like, oh, it's
two of the dancers, and one of them's wearing Swerve's jacket. Why has she got Swerve's jacket on? I don't know. Maybe it was his girlfriend. I have no idea. But yeah, like I said, I'm all for seeing these guys go again. I'm all for just seeing them in singles. But like I said, it was a good match. Now, I'm going to apologize because on our talk for Revolution, I said I have no real desire to see Sting and Darby against the Young Bucks. I was like, I'm not expecting this match to be good. What can Sting do? The Young Bucks can't wrestle the match they normally wrestle because Sting can't move like that. This match is probably just going to be meh. I apologize. Sting went out there and, like you said with Ospreay, put his dick on the table and said, I'm motherfucking Sting.
This is my final time. As he said during the scrum, he's like, I want to leave you with something memorable. And they did.
If I'm going out on my fucking shield. And Sting, by God, you did it. This was a fun match. I'm not looking for a technical classic. Yes, I could pinpoint certain things they did wrong. Mainly in the beginning when everything was just chaotic. Sting didn't know how to throw the Bucks into the barricade, which was weird because it just looked awkward. Yeah. And every time the Bucks were like, wait, I'm going to run around you. I was like, what are you doing right now? And his boys, they're not wrestlers. They both jumped way too soon on the stinger splashes on the first one.
The second one, like, headbutted his, like, boob almost.
I was like, guys, you're going to hurt yourselves. You're going to knock yourselves out doing the stinger splash.
The Wolfpack one really scared me.
And we will get to the Darby of it all. But the pageantry of this, Steamboat coming out, Flair going out. I'm a little bummed that they didn't show, because we knew they were there because they were spotted. They didn't show Luger. They didn't show DDP. Magnum TA was there.
They showed TA, Koloff, and somebody. Oh, and fucking Scotty Riggs was there.
Yeah, Scotty Riggs.
I didn't see Luger DDP.
No, there was fans. There's footage.
I believe you. I'm just saying, I agree.
No. Luger was in a wheelchair. He was being wheeled out. I want to say by Riggs. I think it was Riggs that wheeled out Luger.
Oh.
And DDP kind of. Yeah, and then because it's Luger being wheeled out. I think it was by Riggs. Magnum TA was on his. I don't want to call it a scooter, but the thing that he has to use. And then DDP was walking behind them. And it looked like they were walking from backstage and they were kind of walking and coming around. So I would have loved them to shout them out, but they didn't. But it is what it is. The whole theater thing, I thought looked good. Granted, we didn't get as much as we wanted to get because WWE wouldn't give them any of the footage.
Thank God for New Japan, though. Thank God they at least had something. You can see a little bit of colorful Sting,
I'm shocked. I'm shocked TNA didn't give him anything. I'm shocked we didn't get any TNA stuff because Sting was there. Sting was there a while. We could have gotten some TNA stuff.
I feel like that relationship has gone strained from where it used to be. So yeah,
I agree. I feel like TNA is more WWE side right now, especially after Naomi and Jordan and stuff like that. But who knows? But it worked. It was effective. When his son came out as Surfer Sting, I was like, no, he's not coming. I'm like, oh Oh, that's his
maybe
kid.
I was like, for a second, I'm like, oh, is he gonna end his career how he started it? That's a weird.
I was like, there's no way he's dressed up like Surfer Sting. Yeah. And then here comes
like, oh no, that's a 30-year-old kid.
Yeah. And then Seek and Destroy came on, and even I don't hate me for this. I don't like Metallica, but I marked out when Seek and Destroy came on. I was like, oh, they got his music. I am so happy. Like I said, this is everything about this worked. It wasn't pretty, but it wasn't supposed to be pretty. Also, I loved the Young Bucks attire. I fucking loved it. I loved the suit, like velvet suit looking attire. They were walking out. And I go, are they wearing like? Does it look like they're wearing suits? I fucking love that. That's so. And I actually like watched this back again with my dad because he brought me into wrestling when I was a kid. And I was like, hey, you got to watch Sting's last match. And he's watched some AEW. He knows who the Young Bucks and Omega and stuff are. And he heard Young Bucks, and he's like, I thought the Young Bucks were a young tag team. I go, that's them. He goes, well, didn't they used to have like tassels and stuff? I go, that's them. He's like, they got old. I go, no, they're the same age. They're dressed up now because they're the EVPs. They're trying to look like Vince McMahon.
I do hope that they're in their 50s as the Young Bucks, though. Never change.
That would. The young old Bucks.
No, don't even allude to
Bucks the whole way
young
through.
Bucks, and they're like Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. They're still teaming in their 60s. Don't
ever go back to Generation Me. Don't do that.
Yeah, Max and Jeremy Buck.
God. But yeah. You go a little bit. Talk because I've been talking a lot.
This was a fun match, man. This is the right way to end. You know what I mean? There is, and they even talk about during the scrum. Like, was there any hesitance to going undefeated to not losing your final match? But this is the right way to end the pay-per-view and a show in general here. Because yeah, as you mentioned, the theater opening is so cool. Him watching his past memories, the final show cut on him. It's showtime. For the final time kind of thing. Memorable moments here. They pulled out freaking glass. Even Sting went through it. Of course, Darby did the ultimate glass.
Thank God, Sting. The first time I've ever said this. Thank God Sting wore a shirt. Because I hate when Sting wears a shirt. And this is the one night where I was like, thank God he did that. We're gonna keep Darby off to the side here because Darby does his own little segment here, but keep going.
Yeah, no, and just there's moments again, kind of like the triple threat or any good match or two where like I don't know, maybe they're doing the EVP trigger for the second time, maybe and Sting finally gets to the point where he's almost no selling, but like again in this kind of match in this circumstance. I was fine with the fact that he kicked out and it even won. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, he just won't die. It's his final match. He ain't gonna fucking die to these assholes.
And I loved the callback to Flair, where they both like, we're not sorry and we hate you. I love that moment. It's like, oh, callback.
Super kicking poor Flair. I was like, oh no, stop it.
I loved when Sting got super kicked and he just went like back like this. I was like, that was great. Like that even got me. I was like, yeah. I loved, like I said, the Young Bucks calling that out because I was a straight up Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair moment. Ric Flair getting super kicked. Okay, he probably shouldn't get super. Dude's like in his 70s. Stop hitting him.
He could have been just in the crowd, but like
they feel Dragon. Like... I'm always game for Ricky because he looks great. He always looks great. I mean,
he's still moving decently, yeah.
Exactly. It's like he should have probably been in the ring taking that, not Flair. Because even Flair looked like he had a hard time even trying to cover Sting. I was just like, what are we doing here? Like Sting, like let's get through this. Like I love Ric Flair, but he's not. Come on, guys.
It scares me when they're physical with him. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I feel like WWE will never do it again. And AEW's like, sure, you can get attacked.
Yeah, but Sting.
This is great. I like this.
Sting was great. I do hate that the last, for anyone who didn't get to watch the part on YouTube, they ended it with, "Hold on, guys, I'm getting cues. Cut to black."
I know it is a horrible way to end. Well, yeah, they have a hard out at midnight.
They did. I was looking. I'm like, Sting's about ready to talk. I was like, they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. They're going to run out of time. I was like, because he can go on for 15 more minutes here. I was like, because
and I believe the YouTube clip is about another 10 minutes of them talking, and there's people at the ramp. Of course, the roster comes out as they would, So.
Yeah, because my girlfriend was like, are you kidding me? I go, it's pay-per-view time. I guarantee you probably within the next half hour, I go, whatever he says, it's going to be on YouTube. Tony's not going to let that go on scene.
The cameras don't die. Just simply they have to cut their feed.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't even know if they get fined or if it's just simply they just lose the.
I think they have to pay. I think they have to pay for another.
I'm pretty sure.
Like at one point, I was like, Tony's got the money. Tony will do it.
I thought that too for a second. I'm like, I thought that Tony's gonna go. But I also think unlike TNT and TBS, I think there's also might just be a hard out where they're like, listen, we're gonna cut to the fucking next thing anyway. I'm not even sure if they get fined. It might just be a hard out.
I'm pretty sure that it's just a replay of the pay-per-view again. Because that's what it always was with WWE. Yeah. It was always a replay of the event again. But yeah, Darby fucking Allin, dude. You make Jeff Hardy look like the safest fucking worker out there. What the, like, as soon as I saw the glass, I'm like, fucking Darby's gonna go through that. I was like, they haven't even done anything yet. I was like, Darby's going through that. I was like, he's the only one shirtless. There's no Darby's going. And then as soon as they put the glass on the chairs, I'm like, Darby's gonna go through that. This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be really, really bad. And then he hit it, and he turned his back, and I'm like, just wait. And then you start seeing everything. I was like, oh my god, no. I was like, oh no. And then he wasn't moving. And I was like, he's not moving for reasons. There's a reason he's not moving. He's not moving because he's got shards all up in him. And I'm just like, he's done.
Instantly bleeding.
Just like, cut by 1,000 shards at that point. He only needed 12 stitches. 12. Are you kidding me? Granted, most of them probably were super glued shut. But that is luck at that. That's pure luck. Because not only did you go through a pane of glass, but those chairs, those are fucking steel chairs, man. They are not like flimsy chairs. Like, just without the pane of glass, that is a bad bump to take. The glass did not help support the pain of that fall. It made it 10 times worse. And then, that was an ugly, ugly sight. It was rough to watch, and just every time they kept going back to him, and they just kept showing, like it's like when you see in a movie when someone's got like a sheet over them and they get shot, and you see the one red, and then it just starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You're just like, oh my god, no, like this is bad. And then he still fucking got up. He was like, oh, let me do a coffin drop. You realize there's probably glass still in you. There's still glass in you, man.
Don't you have another move, Darby? No.
Like, just hit another code red. At least then you land on your ass. But nope, I'm going to coffin drop. And he lands it as stiff as you can on Matt. And I was like, Matthew. And I was just like,
you're fine.
Get out of the way. Let Sting end this. And I'm sorry. Like, I did a lot of crazy shit. No, I'm not going through glass. I've done the light tubes. I've done the fluorescent bulbs. Even that was fucking stupid. No, I'm not doing a pane of glass. That was just. And then to have Sting go, I'll do it. You don't have to. I'll do it. I was just like, why? And afterwards, I'm like, he's probably fine because he's wearing the gloves. He's covered, but it doesn't mean it didn't like feel. Because the main worry I had, especially for Sting's one, is like, it's angled. This can shoot into the crowd. This can hit the crowd. This is bad. Because I saw how it splashed with Darby, and it almost hit the people right in the corner of the entranceway. Sting's, it fucking shot. I don't know how close it got to him, but it had to have gotten to the crowd, or at least close to the crowd. Because if Sting had taken that like a table and it was just like that, he fucking torpedoed his ass into that thing. It was rough. What were your thoughts on fucking Darby?
No, Darby put it all out there as well. I mean, he'll do it for a normal match on Dynamite, let alone
he'll do it on Rampage.
I'm sure he had the same mindset as Sting of like, I'm gonna make this shit memorable. And I think honestly, this will go down as a memorable match. I think if you ask me about Sting's last match 10 years from now, several moments are going to stick out to me. And Darby helped play a part in that. And yeah, what? Shout out to Sting, man. What a weird, crazy run that I never thought we'd get. When he first came back to AEW, I was like, that's cool. He'll manage, do a couple appearances, Jake Roberts style, and that'll be about it. I had no idea he ended up wrestling, if you include the Japan match, 30 matches this dude had in the last 3 years.
30 matches in 3 years.
Good on him.
Yeah, good on him. I said, I was always like, Sting, stop wrestling. You don't need to wrestle, dude. Like, just stop. And then it's just like, you know what? If your body's letting you, do it, fucking do it. Fucking do it.
He didn't love his WWE run. I feel like he got kind of edged out, literally at edge, where they were kind of like, all right, you're kind of done, right? So
I'm still good. Don't throw me away. I can still play. It's like, AEW's like, hey, come on over here.
And he mentioned during the scrum, he's like, I've really enjoyed my time here. Toni, promised me, I'm not going to do you like they did. You know what I mean? And I like my time in TNA, but I never really felt like, I was as at home there either. Here I really felt like I was doing something kind of cool, and he was,
I'm going to throw some shade at a few people, though. Everyone in this crowd was awesome. Standing up, cheering, getting into it. There was a group, because always on the hard cam, they're like, everyone's standing. There was this group in the upper corner of 8 people. They sat the entire time. During the Sting match, one person was like, I'm like, are you seriously bored right now? This little corner pocket here, these people looked uninterested the whole fucking night. And they're on the hard cam the whole time. Everyone is standing. Everyone's losing their fucking mind. And there's just 6 to 8 people that are just like.
I love that you noticed that. I'm just seeing you at home.
I did because
I'm gonna find these sons of bitches' names.
Well, because I'm listening to them everyone's on their feet, and I'm looking. I'm like, yeah, everyone is on their. What the fuck is wrong with these assholes?
Section C7 over here. Section C7's pissing me off.
What the fuck is with these assholes? Are they not entertained? How are they not entertained by this? What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, I was like, I want to go out there and slap them. If you don't like this, I'll take your seat because you are not being good fans. Fuck you.
Yeah. And shout out to I had a couple friends in attendance. Austin Howell and Michael Turner. Good on you for being there. Yeah, that would have been a fun show to attend.
Most pay-per-views for AEW are fun to attend.
While we both miss things because of either pizza or sleepy or bad bleacher
streaming. Yes.
Yeah. I think this is a pretty fucking top-notch pay-per-view.
It was a fun pay-per-view.
We had memorable moments. I think we had at the end of the day with the worst match, and again, I didn't say Garcia. I doubt that women's tag was great, but not bad. The worst match maybe was the 8-man Scramble. You know what I mean? And then maybe followed by the women's title match, or the 12-man probably actually second. But that's not bad because again, I don't mind those. And I think we had several.
And Toni and Deonna were not bad. They just never got out of first gear. And in that first gear, they're better than most women's matches that we get to see. Mainly because I think
Kingston Danielson, the tag with FTR and Blackpool. What else? Orange Roddy, the world title, the main event. That's 5, I think, pretty stellar matches.
Ospreay, you forgot Ospreay and Takeshita.
Oh my god, that's 6, and that might be number 1. Holy shit! So I mean, that's 6 that went out of 10. Was it even 10 or 9?
11 if you count both.
Right, and I'm. Yeah, I'm not really totally counting those on the main thing itself. Revolution's had actually a good track record. If you look at past Revolutions,
last year
had a bad Revolution.
Yeah, because last year was Danielson MJF's Iron Man.
Yeah, and I feel like that's I want to say that even that whole card's pretty good. So
it is.
And like I said, as much as not to compare the two, I liked Elimination Chamber. Nothing blew me away, and nothing was surprising. This had both of those. This was surprising. Yeah. Several matches kind of blew me away. This is the pay-per-view of the year so far. Easily. I know we're only in March, but still.
Well, everyone's like, match of the year in March. And I'm like, there have been a shitload of matches since January, guys. There's been a lot of matches already. I'm allowed to call match of the year right now. I'm not saying it's going to win.
No, and it's not the first time that's happened where we're like, a match that happens. Even in January sometimes you're like, holy shit, this might stand the entire 12 months. And no, I wouldn't be surprised if that is one of the ones that we're still talking about come December, January.
Yeah, it's like if let's put it this way, if we get to the end of December and Ospreay and Takeshita are not in the top 10, then we had a great motherfucker.
We had a good year.
We had a great year.
Good year.
And I am excited if that's the case. It's no different than like, sorry guys, we're going movies here real quick. Dune Part 2. It's my number one movie of the year right now. If that is not in my top 10 at the end of the year, we had a real damn good year, guys.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not in a weird way, but it probably will be, yeah.
It will be. It will be. No matter how much Bryan's going to fight me on it, it will be. But WrestleMania.
Bryan.
Yeah, WrestleMania is coming up. That's the next pay-per-view. We are a month and a day away. So
we just had our first Hall of Fame induction. We're going to get Paul Heyman, which is pretty cool.
Obviously deserved. They honestly, when it happened, I was like, he hasn't been put in yet. It's like I had
that makes sense. He's never really stopped. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but I
guess he has a little bit.
Fucking Ray got put in last year, and Ray hasn't stopped.
That's still an anomaly, though. That's still an outlier as far as normality.
But I just felt like he probably was in like 6 years ago. I was like, he hasn't really.
No, okay. I mean, it's Philly, so hopefully Philly will pop for him. And
honestly, that makes sense.
I look forward to his speech.
That totally makes sense. It makes sense. Now you said I'm like that. You know what?
Sometimes they do that. Sometimes where they go some kind of area specific.
We're gonna be in Philly in 2 years, Heyman. Wait 2 years. Don't do anything that's gonna cause you not to be there, please. But yeah, we're not gonna talk WWE. This is strictly AEW show. We just want to hit that little outlier there. But we're gonna be talking about some more WWE stuff. Now, we haven't settled anything yet. We're gonna have some discussions. We were gonna do it after Revolution. We might wait after Dynasty now. Jordan and I are going to do a fantasy wrestling fantasy league kind of thing. We already said for WWE we're going to start after Mania. I guess we'll officially start it with that. We were going to start after Revolution for AEW, but we haven't had time to really kind of lock in what we were going to do with it yet.
So we have to do it before Dynamite tomorrow.
Yeah, good luck with that. We got way too much stuff to do. So we'll hold off the AEW one until after Dynasty. And we'll go back there.
Come on, we can get it done. We get it done. We just gotta pick people in the private chat.
No, because we got to figure out points and because depending on how we're doing the points depends on how we're going to draft and stuff like that.
I'll send you the sheet. Figure it out. We
will be doing this. It'll just be us two, right? Did you just want to do it with us two, or we were going to bring some other people in? Or you want to just test it with us two, and then if it works, then we'll go big.
Maybe we'll test it first, I guess.
Yeah, we were like, are we gonna do a whole year? Are we gonna just do a few months? We're just gonna kind of test drive this real quick. We'll keep you guys posted on this because sounds like a fun idea, and we kind of want to see what happens with it, and we'll go with it. But we will do this on camera. We will do the draft for you guys. We might as well, we might as well do the draft on as a show, and we'll keep you guys up to date with it as it's going. If anything, we'll probably do a show like this, and at the very end, we'll like drop like our standings. So kind of like how Battle of the Brands on Up, Up, Down, Down does. We'll tell you who's first, who's second. Like I said, it sounds like a fun idea. We're looking for more fun stuff to do on here outside of just talking about recaps and everything. So if you guys have topics you guys want us to talk about or anything special, feel free. I know one thing I thought I'm bringing this up to you now because I haven't got to talk to you. I've been hearing a lot of Mount Rushmore talk. There's a lot of topics we could do for Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore of technical wrestlers, high flyers, Mount Rushmore of WrestleMania.
Even just in general, Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling. I'd love to see what you would pick,
Exactly. There's a lot of things that we could do. It's just finding time because Jordan and I are on totally different schedules. So we've got plenty of stuff that we would like to talk about. It's WrestleMania season, and that just seems like the focal point right now. Now, when we get out of WrestleMania season, maybe we'll find more things or want to talk about other things. So bear with us, guys. If you guys are like, you guys are boring right now, we're going to be doing some fun shit. We really are. So bear with us. Jordan and I are still, like I said, we're still figuring this thing out, and we have a lot of fun ideas. It's just finding time for both of us to get on and be able to do it because we're both busy guys. He's got his wrestling down, in Florida, and I got promoted at work, and I'm just being worked to the bone right now. So we're trying. We're really working with it, but please stick with us. Anything else you want to add for Revolution before we end this?
No, I mean, if you haven't seen it, like I said, I recommend it here. I know it's on Bleacher Report or whatever, so it's a pricey. They haven't done the HBO Max deal yet, but I think this one's kind of worth it here. So yeah, this is a good pay-per-view. Good luck on anyone kind of following it up here. Hope so WrestleMania or Double or Nothing, but this is a good one to start off with.
And Dynasty.
Even Dynasty, yeah, sure. I guess I had just Double or Nothing because that's their usual next big one. But yeah, Dynasty, if they come out with a bang.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, guys, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. What did you guys think of Revolution? What was your favorite match, favorite moments? What did you guys think? What did you guys like, dislike? Let us know in the comments below. Like I said, we'll be back when we decide what we want to talk about again. Like I said, there was fun things that's going on with WWE right now. This whole situation is going on with The Rock, and WrestleMania is starting to shape up more. We're starting to see more of where we're going with the cards, so I'm sure we'll be getting back on to talk about that. Obviously, we'll probably get on before Dynasty, and we'll talk about what we think about the Dynasty card once we figure out what the hell the card's going to be. But we'll be here. We hope you guys tune in with us. We are the Wrestling Crusaders. My name's Sean Waskrug. That is Jordan JPO Owens.
That's me.
That's you. And until next time, in case we don't see you, don't try this at home. Unless it's on your little brother, don't tell mom. I love whatever bullshit you're about to give me at the end of every episode.
So, goodbye. And good night. Bang!